And now we're back. So, after a quick break, we will now talk about the historical background and personalities in question document examination. So, actually, there is only one person nga daghan ang nakaila when it comes to question document examination, and that is Albert Sherman Osborne, as he is known as the father of question document examination. However, in fact, daghan ang mga tao nga ni-contribute sa ato ang field. So I think it's really important to also give them credits. Although they will not appear in the board exam, it's still important to acknowledge their contribution. So first off, we have Gilbert Thompson. So kani si Gilbert Thompson usa ni siya ka railroad builder. So siya ning manghimuay og kaning agianan sa train or train tracks nga atong gitawag. So nagtrabaho siya sa US Geological Survey sa New Mexico. And to make sure nga ang kaning mga wage chits or kaning wait a moment kaning wage chits nga ilahang gitawag mo natong gitawag nga notes or kung sa atoa pa gitawag nato og payslip para dili siya mapeke or ma-alter, iyahang gi-imprint ang iyahang thumbprint. O kadtong thumbprint niya, it worked like a personal signature or security seal para maprotektahan ang katong mga notes or wage chits from forgery para dili siya mapeke or again ma-alter sa mga tao. And of course, ang gibuhat ni Gilbert Thompson usa ni siya kadako nga contribution because through his contribution or sa iyahang gibuhat nga initiative maka-find out ta kung unsa ang original nga document. Why? Because there is a signature. So from his contribution ato ang na-determine unsa ka importante ang signature sa usa ka tawo. Moving forward, we also have Alfred Dreyfus. So kani si Alfred Dreyfus usa ni siya ka captain or usa ka Jewish officer nga naa sa or nabilong sa French army. However, he was accused of spying for Germany. So giakusahan siya nga spy siya sa Germany. So ni spy siya sa French ug parte siya sa German nga army. And ang main nga evidence against niya was a handwritten note nga gitawag nila bordereau nga ang naa didto kay mga listahan sa mga military secrets. However, kaning police expert nga gitawag na to Mr. Alphonse Bertillon. I think you know who is Alphonse Bertillon, but for those who doesn't know him, he's actually one of my idols kay nga naman katulo siya na papa. He is the father of anthropometry. He is the father of mugshot and he is the father of criminal identification. So si Alphonse Bertillon daghan po siya og contribution sa field sa criminology. But we will talk later about him. Ato asang istoryaan si Alfred Dreyfus. So again, si Alfred Dreyfus usa ni siya ka Jewish officer nga naa sa French army, giakusahan nga espiya ug ni-spy siya against sa France para sa Germany. Ug ang ebidensya nga ilahang gigamit against niya is kadtong note nga naay mga sikreto sa military. And pinaagi ni Alphonse Bertillon ilahang na wrongfully convicted sa treason si Alfred Dreyfus. But take note, at that time si Alphonse Bertillon, he was not a trained handwriting expert and he used a flawed method. So, ang iyahang process sa pag-determine kung kinsa jud ang nag-execute or ang naghimo sa handwriting was not based on scientific fact. And that led to the wrongful conviction of Alfred Dreyfus. Maskin inosente siya. However, later on, it was discovered that another officer named Ferdinand Walsin Esterhazy, mao na siya ang tinuod jud nga author sa kadtong military secrets. And after the conviction of Ferdinand, si Dreyfus na cleared siya og na released. However, it took a lot of time and a lot of public outcries and many legal battles una siya na kaning na cleared out. And of course, ang kaning case is important in the aspect of question document examination because ang iyahang or ang kadtong evidence nga gi-present against niya serves as a how to say like a trajectory in which the court acknowledged the importance of document as an evidence. Moving forward, we also have Charles Chabot. So he was an early expert in handwriting examination. So usa siya ka graphologist. And just to reinforce your understanding of the word graphologist, so when we say graphology, that is the study of a person's handwriting to determine his or her personality or his characteristics. But mingon ta graphologist, mo ni siya ang tao nga nag-examine sa handwriting. So ang contribution ni Charles Chabot is nitabang siya sa korte to decide kung ang document ba kay genuine or fake by carefully studying the writing of the presented evidence or the presented evidence. Okay? Next, we also have Albert Sherman Osborne, ang papa nako. So, kani si Albert Sherman Osborne, he he is one of the pioneers in question document examination. And because of him, na-acknowledge ang mga document as an evidence in court. So gitawag siya og father of question document examination tungod kay through his effort gi-consider sa atong korte ang documents as evidence. And he is also known as the father of question document examination because he founded the American Society of Question Document Examiners, nga ato ang gitawag og ASQDE. So again, he is known as the father of question document examination because through his work, the courts began to accept document analysis as valid scientific evidence. And he founded the American Society of Question Document Examiners. And he also showed that forgery detection could be done using careful scientific methods, not just guesswork. So si Albert S. Osborne Jud ang nag-establish sa kaning scientific process on how to conduct a question document examination. And moving forward, we have Albert D. Osborne. So take note ha, Albert D. Osborne. So he is the son of Albert S. Osborne. So he followed the footsteps of his father, nga si Albert S. Osborne, and he became one of the 15 founding members of the American Society of Question Document Examiners. So to put it simply, si Albert D. Osborne ni follow siya sa kaning footsteps sa iyahang papa ug apil siya sa founding members sa ASQDE. And kung unsa ang trabaho sa iyang papa, musad iyahang trabaho. Next, we have the father and son team nga si BJ Breland Herring and J. Howard Herring. So, usa sila ka kaning famous nga question document examiner during their time because they testified in one of the most famous trials in American history, and that is the Charles A. Lindbergh Jr. kidnapping case. So ang ilahang case nga na-involvan is ang kadtong pagkamatay o pagkidnap ni Charles Lindbergh nga anak sa usa ka prominente nga aviator kanang pilot or piloto. And they through their contribution ilahang na find out kung kinsa jud ang kidnapper or kinsa ang perpetrator. And during sa time sa investigation sa Lindbergh case, gitawag sila para maka-analyze sa handwriting nga makita sa ransom notes and other documents during sa kidnapping ni Charles Lindbergh. Now, speaking of the Lindbergh case, so again mo ni siya si Charles A. Lindbergh. Anak ni siya og usa ka prominente nga tawo ug nakidnap siya sa iyahang balay. So, I think it was during the afternoon in which nagnap siya. Unya na ay kaning what do you call a ladder. There was a ladder right next to his window and someone ni katkat dito ni agi sa iyahang window to take him. But ilahang nakita, wala na dito ang bata sa iyahang kwarto, but there was a ransom note left. And the ransom note demanded $50,000. However, sa ransom note na ay mga unusual spellings like ready, money, and got. Og pinaagi sa handwriting og mga spelling nga makita sa ransom note, ilang na-determine kung kinsa ang perpetrator. But before na nila na-determine, multiple notes followed. And they all showed consistent handwriting quirks or kanang mga unique nga mga handwriting styles. Like for example, ang pag-misspell o pag-reverse sa mga letters na G and R pag-miss out sa mga punctuation nga walay T crossing, walay ingon ani iyahang letter T, ang iyahang I walay dot, ug iyang J walay dot. And experts like the BJ Vreeland Herring and ang katuiyahang anak and ang kaning sila Dr. Wilmer Suder, Albert Osborne, they all concluded that all notes were written by one individual. And Osborne suggested, so just so you know, si Osborne kay usapod siya sa ni contribute sa pag-solve ani nga case ni Lindbergh because at that time lagi kani siya kay usa ni siya ka kaning very important case sa American history kay anak man gud siya og dato. So motong ang mga tao na ukay. And si Osborne ni suggest nga ang kadtong nagsuwat sa ransom note may be German because ang iyahang mga spelling sa mga words nga gut, aus, and dank is short for thank, I think. So later on, sa ilahang breakthrough, ilahang imbestigahan. So, iko alang background during sa investigation since wala pa sila nakita nga perpetrator or wala pa sila nakita nga tao. Ang ilang gibuhat since nag-demand man to sila og $15,000, ang gibuhat sa president that time is nag-release sila og tag $10 note nga naay gold certificate. So, mo ni siya $10 note nga naay gold certificate. O during sa drop-off, na ay ni dawat nga tao and that was Bruno Richard Hartmann, usa ka German-born carpenter. Ug pinaagi sa pag-trace nila sa gold certificate, ilahang na find out nga si Richard Hartmann or si Bruno Hartmann jud ay ang perpetrator or ang kidnapper. But during sa drop-off, ni ana man to si Hartmann nga gisugo ra siya. So mao to, that was the importance of the gold certificate or the gold notes. And ilahang pag-trace nila sa gold notes, mo to ilang na find out nga si Bruno Hartmann jud ay ang kidnapper. And later on, ilahang gistadihan ang handwriting ni Hartmann and it resembled or there were identical matches sa iyahang handwriting adto sa ransom note ug ilang na-determine nga si Hartmann jud ang kidnapper. So mo ni si Bruno Hartmann. He was convicted and later executed. But he still claimed his innocence, blaming his friend Isidore Fitch. So moto siya pag drop off sa kwarta niya siya nga gisugo ra siya sa lalaki nga gitawag nga Isidore Fitch. And pero ang handwriting ni Isidore Fitch is wala jud na examine kay wala man nila na find out kung kinsa or asa na si Isidore Fitch. So that's why some people still believe nga ang kaning Lindbergh Hartmann case is still controversial and it was unresolved in some aspects. But for me, I think if complete match ang kaning handwriting ni Hartmann ug adto sa ransom note, I think that's enough to convict a person. So next we have Daniel T. Ames. So kani si Daniel T. Ames usa ni siya sa pinaka una nga American experts in studying handwriting para makadetect og forgeries. So, naghimo siya og libro nga gitawag og Ames on Forgery nga nahimo nga guide or first guide kung unsaon pag-examine sa usa ka handwriting sa mga legal nga mga kaso or sa mga kaso. And because of his contribution, it helped people understand how to spot fake writing and protect themselves against fraud. And also, si Albert S. Osborne ni acknowledge sa contribution ni Ames and he named Ames as the best qualified student of disputed handwriting in America during the 1900s. Next, we have William E. Hagen. So ang iyang gibuhat is naghimo siya og libro nga gitawag og a treatise a treatise on disputed handwriting. And ang iyang libro nahimo nga key resource para makatabang or para maka-help sa mga tao to learn how to detect forgeries and understand the details of handwriting. Sa iyahasang libro, nag-examine pod siya kung unsaon pag-study sa lain-lain nga klase sa ink, lain-lain nga materials nga gigamit, and how documents change over time due to aging. So, iya pong gi-explain sa iyahang libro nga ang mga document daw kay mo change na siya or na possibility nga mausab siya over time due to aging. And because of his contribution, the, it made handwriting examination more scientific and reliable in legal cases. Next, we have John F. Tyrrell. So kani si John F. Tyrrell, usapon ni siya ka handwriting expert who helped courts by studying writing in legal cases or in cases. And he was trusted to give his professional opinion about whether documents were real or forged. So just like any other document examiner, kani si John F. Tyrrell kay usa siya sa mga tawo nga mo examine og document og tawagon siya to testify in court para makadetermine kung ang document nga iyahang gi-examine is authentic or not. So he would often testify as expert witness na primarily sa kanang mga kaso nga Lindbergh case and the Molyneux case. So, in both case, si Tyrell kay naghatag sa iyang expert opinion og ni testify sa korte. Next, we also have J. Newton Baker. So kani si J. Newton Baker, he was a consultative expert. So sa mga niya mo konsulta ang mga tao, and he is more focused on the study of disputed and forged documents. So that means nitabang siya sa korte o sa mga investigators para makasabot sila kung unsa nga dokumento ang tinuod og piki using careful analysis and of course his professional insight. What he did was he wrote a book called Law of Disputed and Forged Documents. So kani si libro nga iyang gihimo or kaning libro nga iyang gihimo, it became a valuable guide for lawyers, judges, and forensic experts. So, since he is a consultative expert, mag-rely pod sila sa iyahang libro. So, it means ngayang libro, pwede po na siya ma-appeal sa reference collection sa ato ang mga document examiner para makibaw sila unsaon pag-conduct og document examination. So, iyahang libro nag-explain on how to examine handwriting, how to detect forgeries, and understand the legal rules around document evidence. So, dito po iyang gi-state kung unsa nga mga balaod ang kinahanglan i-follow before ka mo present sa imuhang evidentiary documents. And because of his contribution, he made the work of a document examiner more organized and respected, especially in the legal setting. Moving forward, we have James V.P. Conway. So kani si James V.P. Conway, of course, like the others, he is a document examiner and he is someone who carefully studied handwriting and other features of documents to help determine if they are forged or genuine. So mora gihapon iyang gibuhat mag-examine og document og determine mag-testify kung ang document ba is tinuod or gipeke. And his role was nagtrabaho siya sa San Francisco, California as a postal inspector. Og he was in charge of the San Francisco Identification Laboratory under the US Postal Inspection Service. Og iyang trabaho was to investigate forgeries, altered documents, and suspicious handwriting, especially katong mga kaso nga naa nag-involve sa mga letters or mails nga gipadala. Next, we have Hans Schikert. So kani si Hans Schikert, usa ni siya ka doctor of law. And he is also a criminologist. And he became the director of the Identification Bureau of the Berlin Police Department. And because Berlin, of course, naa siya nakabase sa Germany. And he helped people there, the lawyers and the law enforcement agencies, solve crimes using scientific methods in handwriting examination. And he also taught criminology at the University of Berlin. And he shared his expertise with future investigators, and legal professionals. He was a well known handwriting expert, and his contribution helped courts and police determine whether documents are real or forged. Next, we have Dr. Wilson R. Harrison. Dr. Wilson R. Harrison. So he is based in UK. So he is a British expert in question document examination. And he studied handwriting and other features of documents to help find out if they were real or forged. So he also served as the director of the British government's Home Office Forensic Science Laboratory, and he was part of the Society of Question Document Examiners, and he helped people set standards for the field. So usa siya sa mga tao nga nag-create og kaning balaod nga kinahanglan i-follow sa mga document examiners, ug nitabang pod siya og train og giya sa sa ilahang mga police o mga forensic experts kung unsaon pag-examine og documents scientifically. And he wrote the book entitled Suspect Document Examiners and Their Scientific Examination. And this book became a key resource for learning how to study documents using tools and careful observation. So pinaagi sa iyang libro, murag naa siya'y guide kung unsaon pag-conduct og examination using different tools or equipment during the examination itself. Moving forward, we have Ordway Hilton. So kani si Ordway Hilton, usa ni siya sa pioneer sa mga question document examiner. He studied the science of handwriting and documents to find out whether documents are real or forged. And what he did was, he was the first question document examiner in the new crime laboratory of the Chicago Police Department. He helped bring scientific methods into police work, especially in analyzing handwriting and documents. So, iyahang contribution is usa siya sa mga eksperto sa Chicago Police Department, and iyang expertise is nag-focus kung unsaon pag-analyze sa handwriting and mga documents. And because of his work, he became the sixth president of the American Society of the of Document Examiners. Okay, moving forward, we have Roy A. Huber. So kani si Roy A. Huber adto siya sa Canada nakabase. And as always, like everyone, he is also a document examiner, and he studied handwriting, printing, and other features of documents to help determine if they were real or forged. So he joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 1940, and he worked as a police constable. So nakagain siya og experience in law enforcement. And later on, he was moved to the document section in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police sa Regina Laboratory. And there, he began a career in document examination, and that lasted for over 50 years. So, document examiner siya for over 50 years. And because of his contribution, he became the 24th president of the American Society of Question Document Examiners. And he wrote and presented over 30 papers. Papers, take note, papers, not books. And these papers include typist identification. So kaning typist identification, it is a study on how to recognize who typed a document or kinsa ang nag-produce sa typewritten document. Next paper that he wrote was Modern Trends in Counterfeiting. So this modern trends in counterfeiting explored new ways people try to fake documents. So iyahang gi-explain dito unsa man ang mga bag-o nga pamaagi sa pagpeke sa mga dokumento. Another paper that he wrote was the production and identification of embossing seals. So sa kaninga paper nga iyang gibuhat, dito niya gi-state ang pagkat-on kung unsaon paghimo sa mga silyo or giunsa paghimo ang mga silyo mayon tag seals mo ni siyang kanang mga tatak gani nga importante sa nga mga importante nga ibutang sa letters. And through that paper ihapon gi-explain kung unsaon pag-spot sa mga fake nga mga seals. And lastly, he also wrote or the quandary of qualified opinions. So kani nga paper iyahang gi-discuss dito ang mga challenges sa mga question document examiner sa paghatag sa ilahang expert opinion sa korte. So overall, these people made great contribution in the field of question document examination. And because of their contribution, question document examiners this day and age are now more equipped, and they now know how to properly conduct an examination. They now have a guide kung unsa ang process sa pag-examine, and they now have a guide on how to produce a report and how to present their findings in court. So, next we will move forward to the fundamentals of writing materials and instrument, but we will take a pause, okay?